Hey guys, in this video we are going over pistol squats. As with most lower body weight exercises, you need to make sure that your ankles and your hips have adequate range of motion. So one of the first things I want to start with is actually checking out if your ankles and feet can do their job. If you lack ankle dorsiflexion, this is going to be really tough. You're going to be building strength in a range that isn't adequate to actually get down into a pistol squat. So we're going to start with that. Let's see how it goes. And if you can get your knees over your toes, then that's great. It means that it makes sense to keep going. If you can't get your knees over your toes, then I'm going to put a video link in here so you can start looking after your ankle dorsiflexion. And if you need any help with the tests and what you need to do next, just get in touch. So to begin with, we're going to warm the toes up by playing a bit of a brain game. We're going to try to lift just the little toes and keep the big toe down, and then we're going to switch. You can also take this a step further by doing a little bit of a Mexican wave with the toes, or simply just switch between the two and keep going for about 10 to 20 reps until your feet feel a little bit warmer and you can feel a little bit more what's going on with your feet. So next we're going to be doing big toe pails and rails. To begin with, you can bring your big toe up using something like a door ledge or a box, and you're going to hold this for 2 minutes if you're uncomfortable. If you are slightly hypermobile and you find this easy, you don't have to hold it for the whole 2 minutes. Just hold it until you feel like the stretch isn't intense. So for the pails and rails, we're going to be doing contractions, bringing the big toe towards the shin using just the muscles, and then we're going to be trying to push the big toe down the way. So we're going to do that in intervals of 5 or 10 seconds for 3 rounds. Next, we're going to move on to stretching the toes. So we're going to bring the toes underneath ourselves and try to straighten the knee. Here you can see my toes are curling under quite a lot, and I'm just holding this for about a second and then switching to the other foot. Next, we're going to move our way up the shin with the positioning of our feet. So the easiest version is this, where your feet are directly underneath your hips. You could be leaning forward and holding onto something for support, and we're just going to go through those toe stretches a few times. If you want something a bit more challenging for your shins, then you can bring your feet in front of you and try to straighten the knee, and that will be more intense on the front of the feet and the shins. Again, here I am moving in and out of it quite quickly, but if you need to, you can hold for a little bit longer. If you want to take this even further, you can hinge your body forward as your toes are curled under, and this should be more intense. So moving on to ankle prep, I am just going to be bringing a kettlebell or some kind of weight on the back of my knee and rocking back and forwards as I get deep into dorsiflexion. If you find you can't bring your knee over your toes at all, then you will struggle with getting into the right position for pistol squats, and I would highly recommend that you test your joint range of motion in not just your ankles but also your hips. So this can be used as a warm-up, but also as a starting point for anyone beginning single leg work. You can use a box to simply do a single leg sit down or single leg squat, and you are simply hinging your hips back and using your arms and foot as a counterbalance. With the box being this high, you should find it no problem to achieve 10 to 15 reps per leg at this height. Next, we're going to try 10 reps on one leg on a lower box, and this is also a good way to test whether you are ready to take this exercise further. If you are struggling to simply sit down and stand back up on a level this high for 10 reps in a row, then you probably need to work on this for a few more weeks before taking the next exercise in this routine. So one of the best ways to gain strength is through eccentrics. Here I am standing on the box and letting my foot come down very, very slowly while trying to maintain posture. Here I am also allowing my knee to go forward, and I'm using my arms as a counterbalance. If you've never done anything like this before, a good place to start is around 4 reps and aim to be able to do 10 reps without any problems. With this next variation, it's a bit harder because you are trying to keep the leg up. The good thing about having the box is it doesn't have to be perfectly in line like it would be on the floor, so you can let the leg drop just a little bit. Once you've mastered those eccentrics, you can try doing several reps in one go on the one leg. Ideally starting at the bottom or pausing at the bottom to make sure that you've got the strength to come back up from the very bottom position. Here you can see I'm bringing my foot forward and up as I come down and bringing it back behind me as I stand up. This is making the process a little bit easier, but still putting a lot of emphasis at the bottom position. So another vital factor of pistol squats is the compression work or the compression strength you're going to need at the bottom. You can do this on a box or on a chair where you're sitting in the bottom position of the pistol squat and you are kicking your leg up, squeezing your tummy and your hip flexors to try to keep the leg up as high as possible for as long as possible. The next stage is to be hovering, so sitting in the very bottom of the pistol squat while trying to bring the foot up in line with your hands. This will be quite difficult to begin with, so if you struggle actually hovering, you can lean against a wall and this will help you stabilize. It's so much easier. Okay, so the last set of compression exercises will be either using a box or a bench or a step and bringing your feet up in front of you while your hands are behind you, and you're going to bring your body upright and kick the feet towards your chest. If you find this difficult, you can lean back and this will make it a little bit easier. So last but not least is pistol squat stability at the very bottom. So you can do this standing with no support, or you can actually use a band to hold on to, so you have a little bit of support, but the aim is just to shift your weight onto one foot and hover the other foot for just a moment so that you can get used to being stable at the very bottom position. Here I'm actually using the wall to help me stabilize, and if you find that easy, you can then just do it on the floor with nothing behind you whatsoever. To take it a step further, you can actually pop up a little bit. So you can shift your weight onto that one leg and then bring your body up the way. So your hamstrings and your glutes will engage and it will be like you're hovering just below your very end range with the pistol squat. So you should now be ready for a real pistol squat. All the exercises we've done have quite a lot of carryover, so bring your arms forward for balance. Try to think of engaging the same muscles as you did when you were doing the compression strength drills and the stability drills.